Hey gang, this is Pounding Rocks checking in, and you're looking at the disassembly and resurrection of Le Rouge, the hardbody that I built mainly using junkyard parts. This is a tragic story if you've been following it. This truck has been awesome. I've had it almost 10 years. And I did a lot of work to it. That's an H233B with limited slip, 437 gears, lowered on 3-inch blocks, custom one-piece drive shaft. That's just the back half. Class 3 hitch. Jet the dog. I don't even know what he's doing. Hi. Let alone what we did inside the truck, which was split and painted the dash, swapped it to a 5-speed, new steering wheel, steering column, center console from a Frontier, Pathfinder bucket seats, CB radio. It's got nice speakers in the back. This thing was comfortable to drive. I enjoyed it. It was straight piped. Well, cherry bombed. Actually wasn't all that bad. With the 437 gears, this thing actually kind of ripped and sounded neat. It didn't hesitate to get out of its own way, which is nice for a pickup. It was a fun little experiment while it lasted, but in a previous video you probably saw that the frame has really kind of taken a dive, and it goes all the way up. Like this rod just goes all the way up. And, you know, you could back half it, but I'm not that talented. So I'm not going to even deal with it because the frame is just soft. I mean, I went to lift it on one side and the frame just started smushing on that side. This thing was pretty rough when I got it. If you watch some earlier videos, I mean, way back like 2013 or whatever, I actually did do phosphorus acid. I did a phosphorus acid wash on this thing and ended up painting it with Pour 15, I believe, chassis black, one of the two, and it actually came out looking beautiful. But I drove it through 2 winters, one by choice, one by not by choice, and that was only like a couple days that I drove it in that second winter, and I was not happy about that. And New York winters are awful, so it's not happy. You can still see where the paint has stayed, but you know, unless you sandblast it and acid dip it, it's not going to be perfect. And I did what I could, and I think I did a fine job. I think getting this truck to 30 years old was not bad. There's a lot of cool parts on this thing, a lot of cool history, and then a lot of tragedy at the same time. So I'm a sentimental guy, and I don't like to say goodbye, especially if there's an opportunity for me to fix something and carry on. So my thoughts were, as I said in the last video I made about this truck, that I had plans for this thing. And I was going to originally scrap it and just keep all the good bits and move them over to Patches. But Patches is not as cool as this truck. So I don't really feel like Patches deserves the parts that are on this truck. This has got, it's so unfortunate, poly bushings, front and rear, heavy duty 1-ton front suspension with the torsion bars out of a V6 long bed heavy duty. The leaf springs are out of a heavy duty V6 as well, but I took a leaf out just to make it a little bit more compliant. But the thickness of the leaves is a little more on the heavy duty than on the standard. And of course the rear axle is also out of that truck. So this is a 4-cylinder heavy duty that Nissan never built. It's got performance friction brakes, Moog, everything underneath in the front. you guys followed along in that series. It was like 30-40 series or 30 episode series of me tearing everything down to the frame down here and then doing poly bushings and rebuilding it from there, sandblasting control arms, pressing in new lower ball joints. This truck had to work, so when it was done, it was pretty awesome. But I just can't drive it with a bad frame. So here's the plan. I've rolled it into the barn right next to Green here. Again, the two of them are together for the last time in this configuration. In this cab, I am going to start proceeding to get this cab unbolted from the frame and get it so it can just be lifted right off the chassis as a whole unit. Fenders, just, maybe no hood, but just, lift it right off the frame as a whole unit with the electrical in it and everything just hanging down. I'm going to keep the engine. Transmission is going to go into storage, and I have plans. This used to be a Pathfinder. You probably saw it. It was a red 90 Pathfinder that I bought, and I've kept a lot of parts off of it for another build for the Double Dare Pathfinder pickup project that I've been working on. So you all know that the bolt configurations for the mounts are pretty much drilled for every single engine, V6 and 4-cylinder. So my plan is to drop Red's 4-cylinder engine in here. Underneath this tarp here is another engine and transmission setup that was out of a 96, but the transmission's out of a 90. I'm going to bolt that to the back of Red's engine. It's a 4-wheel drive transmission. I have the drive shafts. Of course, I have the wiring harness. So the plan is to take Red and just transfer everything over to this 4-wheel drive frame and make Red into a 4-wheel drive Pathfinder. It's never going to be street legal though. I'm not doing it like that. It's going to be a MudTruck. I got a set of 33s, 12.5 sitting in the barn that I'm going to slap on some wheels. I got some Legos here, and I'm just going to slap it together like that, and it's going to live its life out as a MudTruck, because I can't for the life of me bring myself to actually gut that cab and cut it up and send it to the scrapper. So that's my plan. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I really appreciate all the subs. Have a great 4th. Take care.